After a long and exhaustive year, Black Ops 7 is finally here. Leading up to the launch of this Entry of the Undead, I was afraid Treyarch would not be able to stick the landing. Black Ops 6 Zombies ended with the biggest whimper imaginable. Plotlines were confusing and retconned, no super Easter egg reward, and the inevitable return of the original 4 characters did not mark this entry as an easy sell. But as the build-up began, we got the Zombies beta, the COD Next event, and the reveal of modes like Cursed. Many players cautiously raised their eyebrows in anticipation, myself included. But after 2 months of waiting, we finally arrived at the launch day just a week ago, and I was pleasantly surprised. Black Ops 7 Zombies blew my expectations out of the water. From Ashes of the Damned to Dead Ops Arcade 4, I love this game from cover to cover, and for a launch day, there is more than enough content to sink your teeth into, at least on the Zombies side. There's the camo grind, the weapon grind, the main quest, the cursed mode, the relics, survival, and Dead Ops Arcade 4. And with Astra Malorum already on the way, it seems to be an exciting launch for fans of the undead. So without further ado, hello there fellow zombie slayers, my name is Stanley557. Sit back and relax as we talk about my week 1 review of Black Ops 7 Zombies, a striking, full-size spectacular. Following up immediately after the Reckoning, Ashes of the Damned pits the Requiem crew against the various forces of the Dark Ether, including a being known as the Warden, a Dark Ether entity who has sensed the power of the Sentinel artifact and has marked their souls for consumption. Alongside Weaver, Carver, Grey, and Maya are the original 4 beings who saved the universe back at the end of Togger Toten, including all new versions of Richtofen, Dempsey, Takio, and Nikolai, each ripped from their respective realities. It's up to this ragtag group to regain their souls and escape from the depths of this realm. My first major concern with Black Ops 7 was how they would handle all of these characters, especially the legacy ones, and I was excited to see how developed they all are right from the get-go. Richtofen is morally evil, Takio is attuned to the spirits and possibly something greater, Dempsey is a Vietnam badass with a very interesting backstory from his respective universe, and Nikolai is a Russian sculpted by the horrors of war. As explored in the map, just like the Requiem crew, it appears each of these versions of our characters have been touched by a greater power, and as reflected on in the boss fight, these versions are morally inferior to the last, making them the worst of the worst, so it seems they'll continue to have further development exploring these past lives and their sins. And then there's Requiem. I believe their current position in the narrative makes them perfect heroes to guide and contrast our original characters, making them stronger by helping them tackle their demons. The dialogue is also a massive improvement over the last entry, and while Requiem are still using various combat quotes from Black Ops 6, the original 4 shine as bright as they did nearly a decade ago back in Black Ops 4.
You will forgive me if I do not drop everything to do the bidding of a gigantic floating head.
Speak for yourself. We do this all the damn time.
I cannot act against.
Then there's the game's main map, Ashes of the Damned. Ashes immediately tackles so many of my previous criticisms with Cold War, Vanguard, MWZ, and even Black Ops 6. Described as a Bermuda Triangle within the Dark Ether Sea, Ashes of the Damned is a collection of various locations from around time and space, each with their own set of undead skins, stories to tell, main quest elements, and chilling atmosphere. You have the cannibalistic family at Vanover Farm, the active stillness at the Cosmodrome, the rave in the Redwoods inspired Blackwater Lodge, the vibrant and neon-filled Exit 115, the destroyed and rebuilt town of Ashwood, and the dilapidated look of Janus Towers, bridging the gap between the last entry and this one. Every location in Ashes has a story to tell, people who lived there, and how they all add to the growing environment. It's a map consisting of a Revelations-like setup that takes unique advantage of the story framing in order to make these mishmashed ideas work. It allows both the world and locations to build a story both separately and in unison, unlike many previous maps like Shattered Veil and The Reckoning, which attempt to service their lore from the map's overarching narrative like a campaign mission. I like that some of the characters recognize the various locations, like Dempsey hearing about Vanover Farm, or Nikolai realizing this is where the Cosmodrome went from his world. It seems like the Dark Ether is pulling from locations that each of these characters seemingly recognize, and if the leaked map list is anything to go by, the following maps will continue to take locations tied to these characters and their struggles. Then there's the map design, gameplay, and main quest. I'm going to wrap all of these together because it's just my initial thoughts and not a full-blown review, so forgive me for being brief. First, the map design. It's fantastic, and the use of Tessie to get around makes exploring the locales quick and easy. And the map being shaped like an infinity symbol, with Ashes being the map's center, makes no one location feel too far away. And being able to teleport to the truck and teleport the truck back at nearly any time immediately tackles some of Transit's biggest failures, and it's something I want to applaud the map for. If I had to have a criticism, it would be how hollow it feels at times. I love walking under Janus Towers, exploring the destroyed boat which has been reused for a third time, and the giant Orta corpse. But the one thing the map is missing is all of those sub-locations in between the map's main POIs. Due to the danger of super sprinters and the Ravengers in the fog, there's little reason to explore and little reason to go out there. It can make the supposed largest round-based map ever feel hollow. It's a problem Modern Zombies has by philosophy, where the extents of the fog fail to justify the map size. It can be easy for the map to feel like 6 small survival maps stitched together, and adding additional zones in the fog like the prototype building from Transit would have gone a long way to make exploring exciting. Then there's the map's primary gameplay mechanic, Tessie. A large truck with a returning Ted affixed to it, Tessie is the main means for getting around Ashes. Along the way you can attach the Pack-a-Punch, an Abomination head, and even a free-firing Wonderwaff if you complete part of the Easter egg. Tessie is a mechanic that can only fit on this map, and I adore it. The speed boost is great for traversing the fog and getting Ravengers off your vehicle, the Abomination head is great for immediate damage, and the Wonderwaff turret is fantastic in the boss fight for a second player to hop onto. I really don't want to see this thing brought into other maps. It feels perfect here, and the mechanic breathes life into any moment you use it in. Whether it be enemy interactions, simple map traversal, or the boss fight, I love it, and it helps Ted is attached with some funny voice lines to boot too. Then there's the Wonder Weapon and the enemies. The Necrofluid Gauntlet is a complex wonder weapon that grants players lifesteal, near infinite ammo, and an explosive blast when Pack-a-Punched. The trick is to line up your shots with the terrain and call the needles back or explode them to deal maximum damage. It's not an insta-kill-all like the Thunder Gun, nor near as useless as the original Wonderwaff. It's a tactical gauntlet that requires fun strategy and positioning to get the most out of it. It also can latch onto power-ups, salvage, points, and armor drops, making for easy retrieval of anything on the map. I love it, and the design of the weapon is gnarly. Then there's the Ursa and the Ravengers. The Ursa is just another elite enemy. I love the design, but really it's whatever in combat. The real stars of the show, in my eyes, are the Ravengers, which attack players in dog-like packs and consume any salvage or loot on the floor, becoming empowered and attacking the player. I really enjoy the Ravenger and the way it interacts with loot. This takes away important items from players not paying attention and makes a slightly more powerful enemy. It isn't much stronger, but I like the way it actually does something to interact with the modern mechanics, unlike the last 14 special enemies that we received, which just feel like diet dogs. And finally, there's the main quest. Ashes of the Damned finally hits that sweet spot between difficulty, puzzle solving, and length. There are a ton of puzzles to solve, quick defense steps to partake in, and plenty of parts to collect and figure out their usefulness. Just like the past year's worth of eggs, this egg I tried to solve with Whitecliff, FPS Psycho, and my buddy Hooded, and every time we completed a step, it felt like an achievement, which is difficult for an Easter egg to do. I also have to give props for the egg for breathing life into the entire map, making every locale useful in some way. Huge shout out to Whitecliff for completing many of the puzzles. And finally, there's the map's boss fight, Tharian. This fight is designed entirely around the car, and it is awesome! Driving around and ramming into the boss's open mouths is truly satisfying. But the fight is borderline impossible to complete on your first attempt without gums, and it requires an asinine level of precision, especially in Phase 3. And the difficulty definitely brings down what is on paper a really cool encounter. Now, it is getting nerfed, I should mention that, but I still like the idea of the boss, and I think it's sad it has to be nerfed because it's really cool. And once you complete the map, that's usually where I would end the review. But now we have access to Cursed Mode and Relics. To add on to the map, now players can play in Cursed Mode, which removes the health bars, the HUD, and brings back the classic point system. But in its place, Pack-a-Punch tiers have been increased to 10k, 25k, and 50k per price tier. At first, the mode is nothing more than just a slight reskin of standard mode, but it's the relics and the hunt for said relics that changes things up. For the most dedicated players, you can track down relics by completing small side Easter eggs past round 20, 40, and 60. And after completing the respective trial, you can attach relics to a game of Cursed that further enhance difficulty, like adding mimics to the fray, or instilling a classic 4 perk limit. Completing the Easter egg in Cursed with various relics attached grants you additional Pack-a-Punch camo skins for whenever you Pack-a-Punch. This is a really cool way to reward players, but the relics aren't all just about restrictions. By applying a specific number of relics, you gain access to golden armor, an additional weapon rarity tier, and Pack-a-Punch tier. While these buffs aren't in Classic, it's a blast to have them around and a surprise for sure. And that's what I want to commend this mode for, surprises. Everything about it, from the reveal, to the relics, to even the rewards, everything about it wasn't something heavily marketed, making discovering the relics 10 times more engaging and gives the game longevity past the first few days of release, which is something nearly every game since Black Ops 4 has struggled to do. Personally, I've been having a blast trying to unlock the relics, complete the main quest, and unlock further rewards. Next up is Survival, which has been talked about by others ad nauseum, but I'll be seldom here. Survival mode is something that should have been introduced all the way back in Black Ops 3, but I guess better late than never. Taking a bite-sized version of standard mode, Survival places players at one location, and gives them perks, pap, an arsenal, and a crafting table, and tells you to make do. It's zombies right to the point, and I just hope it's a staple going forward. Currently, all we have access to is Vanover Farm, but coming in Season 1 is the added addition of the Cosmodrome and Exit 115. My only gripe with the survival maps is how they're going to differentiate each other, besides just being a similar survival map just on a different location. It also helps that you're rewarded for going out of your way for playing, with a few cosmetic rewards, and an Ultra Gobblegum being rewarded to you once you make it past round 50. And finally, there's Dead Ops Arcade 4, a surprisingly expansive sequel that takes players through 80 top-down levels of Dead Ops action. Like the entries before it, Dead Ops tasks players with making it to the end to rescue Findolina. Along the way, you'll encounter a growing roster of enemies, obstacles, arena sizes, side missions, gauntlets, and rewards. Dead Ops Arcade 4 is easily the most difficult variant of the bunch, and even with Gobblegums, you're going to struggle. To make up for this added challenge, players can find the Slayer Mart, which offers various rewards and bonuses should you have the Slayer cash to pay for it. Slayer cash can be earned by doing good in various minigames you play along the way, and this edition finally allows the minigames to thrive, making them more than just bonus loot simulators, and changes the pace. They actively reward a variety of arcade game skills, and the rewards vary from additional nukes to field upgrades to even purchasable fates. While the wild has been removed, the player can periodically fight in gauntlet-like arenas that task you with getting as far as you can and defeating a boss at the end, which include the Guardian and the Z-Rex from BO6. This mode is insane. My only complaint is the high level of difficulty. Dead Ops 4 is easily the most aggressive of any of the entries, and even with a fully set up team, you're going to struggle. But it's still an amazing time. But maybe just wait until they add a first-person mode to the standard difficulty like Cold War did. And that's Black Ops 7. This game is chock full of content, with a fantastic launch map, plenty of rewards to go for, a great cast of characters, and Dead Ops Arcade 4, which is going to make me pull my hair out. Just like Black Ops 6, I'm curious to see where this game goes. As for a recommendation, Black Ops 7 Zombies is more Black Ops 6. It's difficult to recommend the game based on its own merits alone, and the core gameplay loop is essentially more Black Ops 6, coming with many of the game's same strengths, but also just as many of its weaknesses, and changes in Cursed like the return of the classic point system don't do enough to differentiate this entry from the last. This game is $70, and if you're just a Zombies fan like myself, then you have to look at all this content and ask yourself, is it worth it to purchase it? And wonder if, like Black Ops 6, if it'll even be fully supported at the end of the line. If you haven't purchased this game yet, I hope this video helped you make a decision. Black Ops 7 Zombies is a ton of fun, from the main map, to Cursed, to the Relic Hunt, to even Dead Ops Arcade. There is so much here for the average player, but its lack of unique mechanics and a reliance on nostalgia may turn away some players. Give the game a chance to wow you, and if the intro for Astra Melora is anything to go by, this game might be worth the price of admission once all the content for it is released. If you're still on the fence, however, I suggest waiting for a price drop or a free weekend before trying it out. As for myself, I am in love with what this game has to offer, and excited to see what comes next. But with that said, thank you all so much for watching. Here's to a long year of Black Ops 7 goodness, and if for whatever reason it ends up sucking at the end of the day like Black Ops 6, then you'll hear about it in my year-long review. If you're looking for other content like this one, why not take a step down memory lane and hear my thoughts on Vanguard, MWZ, and Black Ops 6. Thank you all so much for watching. And remember, keep on slaying.